Welcome to Lords of Lore. I'm your host, Mark. With me is my co-host, Lord Drew. If you like video games, you can check him on Twitch. His username is Lord underscore Drew underscore 72 at Twitch. This episode, we're going to be talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, reviewing the show. So, if you're not familiar with Buffy, she's a vampire slayer who battles vampires, demons, and saves the world season to season, pretty much every day.
Yeah, if you're not a fan of the Buffy show, we're gonna be doing a lot of spoilers.
Yeah, so
if you've never seen it, yeah, listen a little, but be wary.
This was one of the first shows I've ever watched where it was character based and different than any show that was on.
Yeah, non-procedural.
The characters were written great. Again, if you have great characters throwing a generic plot, you're gonna have a great story either way.
Yeah, and they had some good plots, not just but we, as a show, you doing they were back then they're doing 20 plus shows a season. Now they're only doing 8 shows and calling that a season. So
right.
It was different. They spent a whole year doing the shows.
Right, and it was one of the first shows too that had an arc going on from the beginning to the end.
Yes, each season was its own adventure, and then there was also the campaign,
right,
in the season's connections. It was all one fluid story of their lives.
And so the main character was Buffy Summers. She was the Slayer, the chosen one.
Not the first Slayer. She was just a Slayer in a long line of Slayers, dated back thousands of years.
Great character. I liked the character. She was basically a teenage girl that wanted to be normal but couldn't be.
Yeah, she just wanted to hang out with her friends, do teenage girl things, go to dances. She was a very mean girlish before she became the Slayer.
Right.
It helped her change into a better person.
Yeah, and there was plenty of character growth from the beginning to the finale. And
probably, if we're going through the seasons, they grew up. They went from kids to adults.
I mean, and this is there is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie which has nothing to do with the TV show.
It's the show is loosely based on the movie, and the show is Buffy. The movie is just awful. That's the only thing I can say about it. I can't stand it.
The creator of Buffy was Josh Whedon. He did the movie too, but they did whatever they wanted to it. So then he decided, I'm going to do the show that I wanted to do.
Right. The studios 80s did up or whatever it was, 90s. I forget when it was made. Whenever it was, it just was awful. It was a bad comedy. I don't like comedies, but it was a bad comedy.
That's the best way to put it. I mean, in the show, there's some comedy, but
it's action, comedy, drama.
It's got it all.
Yeah, it's like superheroes. It covers everything.
And she had some friends to help her along the way. One of them was Xander Harris.
Alexander Harris.
He was just a normal teenage guy, and he really didn't change. I mean, the growth was there, but like nothing big. Like didn't get superpowers or anything. He
was always Xander.
He kept the show grounded.
Yes, like they said in the later episodes, he was the heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, he was the heart.
He was the heart.
He was the eyes. He was watching everything. Which one was it?
I think it was the heart.
I'm drawing a blank. So,
I mean, he was always the solid person that they could go to, if they needed.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about him season by season. There's the 4 that are the core Scooby Gang.
Right.
I can't say I agree with him all the time, but Buffy I agree with the most. Most of the time I agree with her. There are times if you don't disagree with the character you like, then I think part of you is being fake. Well, because if it's such a long arc, they've got to have some opinion you don't agree with.
Right. I mean,
and it's okay. You shouldn't agree with everything everybody thinks.
This is anyone thinks. One of the first shows too where the characters were realistic and not perfect all the time.
Right. It was like what Marvel had done. It was, and then Whedon was a fan of Marvel, so
right. I mean,
it's
things
about character. It's about real life. How are they going to feel? How are they going to act? What's going to change them? When are they going to be bad? When are they going to be good?
right.
How far will they go in either direction?
Right. So it's going to affect these characters and change their personalities, or
life changes you.
It does.
Your environment changes.
That's what made it.
What people do to you changes you.
It kind of made it more realistic to me for the show.
Yeah, the more life changes you, that just says the more wise you are. How can you go through life and be the same person? We know people that never change.
Yeah.
But I want to constantly change. I don't want to be the same person tomorrow that I am today. I want to have learned something new. And that's what these characters do.
Experiences changes that.
Episode, something happens in an episode that forever changes this character. You know?
Right. The choices.
Right. As deep as someone losing an eye to a lint to, life.
You know? Right. The third character part of the Scooby game, Willow.
Yep. Willow Rosenberg.
She plays her best friend, not the popular girl, but
yeah, she's the nerd, the smart, the one everybody makes fun of.
Right.
She's the nerdy girl.
And then exactly.
She's the brains of the group.
And and then she grows leaps and bounds in the show too, and eventually she becomes a powerful character. And then you got
let's not leave on Willow. We gave some time on the others, but with Willow, you've got a character that's shy, oppressed, pushed down, made fun of for her greatest talent, her brain. She doesn't dress like the popular kids. I mean, she's shocked that Buffy even wants to be her friend. I mean, it's like, I like that in that character. Who want to be talking to me? Is that okay? But I can't talk to you too, and not legally. I mean, you gotta like Willow's development as a character. I think she develops up there with Buffy as a developed character. I think they all do in a way, but Xander stays the most consistent.
You're right.
Because he isn't affected dramatically by having powers and abilities.
Because Xander serves that character as that rock.
That's why he's the heart. She's the mind. The will, the body.
Right, and then it's because of her intellect and her smarts that she later becomes a witch.
Right, and her thirst for knowledge drives her in a direction, and then Sunnydale, being a mystical space, allows her to develop and become actually a witch.
Yeah, we'll get into the seasons, but she becomes powerful each season. So, then we have their mentor, Rupert Giles.
Right, the mentor of the team. He's the Charles Xavier.
Yes.
Proverbial X-Men.
He starts off as the Watcher, which is a group that just helps Slayers.
The organization that deals with the mystical around the world, and they have controlled the Slayer for hundreds of years.
Right.
When a new Slayer is born, because an old Slayer died, they always die young. The Watchers grab that person and bring them into the organization and control them. Tell them where to live, who to fight, take them from their families.
Right. You find out later that the Watchers aren't as good as they present themselves.
Like any powerful organization, there's darkness there.
Yeah, they use the Slayer as their personal weapon against vampires and demons and evil.
Right.
But and
they don't want that kind of control being free, so they want to control it, harness it for what they want to use it for.
Right, and
they're in charge.
That's what makes Giles unique, and he develops a relationship with Buffy and the gang, and starts to question the Watchers.
Right.
And then
he becomes Americanized. He starts seeing it from their free perspective. Because unlike all the other Slayers, Buffy isn't controlled by them.
No.
Giles fails to strike the leadership role in that way. He's more of a mentor, a father figure. He's not a controlling bad
Right.
force.
Not the
He's actually a good person.
yeah.
It's where the rest of the Watchers are in charge. They're the boss. That organization is like, there are black ops in magic and demons and darkness and all the Buffy universe stuff, which covers more than just vampires. It's insane.
Yes.
Their level of the Buffyverse is huge.
Yeah. Very, and it expanded. Yeah, more than just vampires.
Right.
And,
Video games, comics, all the monsters just had spin-off and Angel.
right, and there's role playing games and stuff now.
Yeah, role playing games. Any type of merchandise you can imagine, I've seen.
Right. And then we have Spike, who this is an interesting character, where he starts off as a main villain, but the audience loves this character, so he becomes more, a mainstay cast member.
Yes.
And then this is a character that changes throughout the seasons too.
Technically, he makes the most changes of any character, in my opinion, besides Wesley, who was a one season character in Buffy, but man, did he make insane changes in his. But I'm not back to Spike. Spike makes just insane changes himself. So
yeah, he makes. Yeah, you're right. He makes the most.
I mean, I don't know how much we want to talk about it now, but Spike does make some serious, I've never heard of changes before.
I think this shows you how good Joss Whedon was at characters, that he took a main villain from a season and turned him into one of the most likable characters in the cast of characters.
Yeah, Buffy definitely was the show that he got to develop how to do superheroes, because that's what Buffy is that she's just a superhero. Yeah. She's more of a superhero than Blade, in my opinion. I mean, I consider Blade. I'm not saying I consider Blade a superhero, but on that level, Blade only deals with a very specific type of supernatural. If he has to choose, it's just vampires.
Right.
To where Buffy is whatever supernatural evil force comes her way.
So he does leaps and bounds of.
Yeah, a lot of the characters develop. Yeah, the more time they have on the show, the more they have a chance to develop their character.
Yeah. And then the next character we have is Anya.
Anya Jenkins.
She was a former French demon that got turned into a regular human by the Scooby Gang.
Yes, but you skipped a big part of her character where she was a human who was cheated on by her husband way back centuries ago as a human. She then cast a spell and turned him into a troll. And then the vengeance demons came and brought her into the fold in the organization, and she became a vengeance demon, where then the Scooby Gang later turned her into a human again.
Okay.
Full history in that sense. Just a quick, when you're saying, just the full history of her. She's a very deep character in that sense, different, because when she's reborn as a demon, vengeance demon, she's fresh. She's a new, and then when she becomes human again, she's been a vengeance demon so long, she has no idea how to be human.
Which eventually she
becomes a vengeance demon again. So yeah, circle.
But when she becomes a human again, she kind of follows the Scooby Gang because she doesn't know what it's like to be human. She hasn't been for centuries, like you said.
Yeah, she has a thing for Xander. So
that there's the character connection with those. So they end up falling in love.
Yep. Xander communicates with her when no one else will, when she's human and she's lost. Xander tells her. Sometimes it's harsh, but he tells her.
Right.
Like, when she asks, he talks.
That's why he's that type of character.
Yeah.
Because to everybody, it's not just.
You should always listen to someone. I mean, even if you disagree with what they're saying, hear their knowledge, hear what they believe. It'll help you know. Someone says, "Hey, I like to eat Survivor pudding." Hey, I'm out. See you later.
All right. And then the first 3 seasons we had Angel on, who eventually gets his own spinoff series later.
Yep.
Uh, also, Angelus is another part of him. That's the actual non-soul.
We'd have to describe the Buffyverse vampires in that sense. So in the Buffyverse, when a human is turned into a vampire, their soul is ejected from the body and they're possessed by the demon that is the vampire. And they know everything you ever knew. They are you. They have all your memories, everything, even more so than you. And then the demon just takes over. So, if it was Mark coming after me as a vampire, if he doesn't just be callous, I won't know until I'm dead.
Right.
And then boom, the demon got me. Another demon would possess me. Okay. So Angel is a vampire with a soul. He's an original character at this point in the universe. No vampires ever had a soul. And so they're punishing Angel because of all the things Angelus did. They put his soul back in his body. And so now Angel is
right
the good guy.
With all the memories of what Angelus did.
Right. He has to, whenever he's given control of the body again, he remembers everything Angelus did, and Angelus remembers everything Angel does. So that's how it works.
I gotta say, for me, more Angelus is more entertaining to me.
Yeah, I love Angelus. Angel is what he is. He has his part. He's a good.
I like Angel.
Yeah.
But the Angelus.
He's low on the characters that I like, but I do like Angel. I just like differently than I think most people do. There's a different reason I like Angel, not because of his brooding. There's something else I like about Angel, and it's that when it matters, he reminds me of the Thing in the Marvel Universe. He throws it all down there. He just, if it's I gotta jump head first, he jumps head first. I like that in a character that sometimes I'm willing to go. I'm just willing to go right here, right now. And he doesn't do it like, oh, I'm cool. You can just tell I'm willing to do this, whatever it is. I got it. I'm not afraid. If I die, I die. That's the way it is.
Which I think is interesting because Angelus is the complete opposite.
Right.
He's the manipulator, not get his hands dirty.
Yeah, he's only going to attack when he knows he's going to win.
Right. He's not the I'm going to jump right into this battle and stuff. No.
Yeah, he's rope-a-dope.
Yep.
That's what I would call him. He's that rope-a-dope. You think you got him. He's been playing you the whole time.
And it's perfect analogy of that. Yeah. But I thought Angelus is more entertaining me. I like the villain side.
Yeah. The Angel brood, we've all had that brood character, the worst brooding character in the show was Connor by far.
Yeah. And yeah,
that dude. That was G's favorite character. He loved Connor. He just said G was like, he's that animation character. I love him. He reminds it's the characters the animation people love.
I could actually see that, yeah.
Raised in a hell dimension, got everything, got powers. It's a perfect anime character. Broody, dark, quiet, whiny.
Then another character, Cordelia Chase. She was in the first 3 seasons also, and jumps to the spinoff with Angel later.
Another character that makes a lot changes.
Yeah, even in the Buffy season, she made some changes. Yeah, she's the top mean girl, the most popular.
Right. And she starts out in the role that Buffy was before she was a vampire slayer. The mean girl, the popular girl on campus, dating the jocks, the popular guys.
Right, and then she starts to fall into the Scooby Gang. Not always willingly, but
yeah, it's because of they're in the proximity of the Scooby Gang. Her in particular, she's at the Browns with them. She has lots of classes with them. She respects teachers and stuff like Giles and stuff. So that all helps her stay in their orbit and get caught up in stuff. And then getting caught up in it makes you those honorary member of Scooby gangs for a time, if not the rest of your time. Oz is another one that gets swept up in it. They just get swept up in the Buffyverse.
Right.
Everything's normal until shit's all fucked up. What? Demon dogs, werewolves, vampires. What the hell? Right?
Right. Yeah, because Sunnydale's
On a Hellmouth,
on the helm.
which is a portal, an opening, almost a giant manhole cover to a hell dimension. They're called Hellmouths. There are several of them on Earth. They say one's in Ohio, one's in California. In the comics, they say the one's in Central Asia, in Central China, and there's one in Australia. One of the earliest ones was in Australia. So, or at least in the Buffyverse, there's somewhere I know that there's more than just the one. At first, they try to tell you it's just one Hellmouth, but you learn later that there's more than one.
More than one. As you mentioned, Oz.
Oz.
He's another character that comes in season 2.
Yeah. Sticks around here and there, has an arc, his own
Right.
story.
Right.
Normal kid caught up in stuff. Not so normal when you find out he's a werewolf. He just becomes a werewolf.
Right. And
his nephew's a werewolf.
him and Willa start a romance together.
Right. And that sweeps him up in it.
But yeah, this a werewolf. That's he's the werewolf of the group. You have to be caged during the full moon.
Right. He later learns to control it.
Yeah.
But overstressed makes him revert at any time to a werewolf. So he may have suppressed it, but now he made it more dangerous. More like what we know of the Hulk. Through stress and anger, he could suddenly turn into a werewolf in broad daylight.
Right. And this was a mellow, relaxed character.
Yeah, he was always that cool, mellow, chill character.
Like
that Oz vibe.
Yeah.
If you ever watch the show, you'll get that Oz vibe.
No, I like that character. He was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like him.
Then another one is Dawn Summers, Buffy's sister. But
yeah, that's weird because she comes out of nowhere, literally. I don't want to talk really a lot about her. Are we going to go through seasons?
We'll go through seasons,
okay.
So we can save her.
Yeah, that's her younger sister that comes from nowhere and is a magical key that keeps the dimensions separate.
Right. It's season arc.
It's new characters shoved deep into the Scooby Gang, and it's Buffy's sister, literally by blood.
And then I think another like rock of the show for the first 5 seasons was Joyce Summers.
Yes.
Buffy's mother.
Yeah, she's that hidden foundation. When she does, sometimes she doesn't appear in episodes for a while, but when she does, it's always poignant.
And there's always a point.
She helps. I think she helps Angel the most at one point. I believe that, the idea of the vampire, that when Angel was turned, he's Angel that age forever in the brain. His prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed. So he'll always be 18, 17, 19, 20, whatever he was in that low 20s, because it doesn't fully develop till you're 25. And I believe that Joyce, what she says to him, the way she says, one of you has to make this decision. One of you has to be the grown up. One of you has to do what's right here. It's going to be the 16-year-old girl. Is it going to be 200-year-old vampire? And it made him go, damn, she's right. What kind of future can I offer this girl?
Right.
And that's the first time he ever looked at it that way for real.
Yeah, she always gives the advice that they need.
He had literally been through hell and back to get back to her in that sense. And just the first time someone made him realize you can do more for her than be with her. You'll do far more for her. Let her go. Let her grow up. Let her be a person.
Yeah, great character, great foundation character.
Yeah, she helps.
For the main character. Yeah. For the main characters.
So some of the most the devastating episodes. And a lot of times I'll watch that episode, The Robot Girl, and forget, this is it.
Yeah.
And it shocks me, and then, dang, man, it's devastating.
Yeah. Especially because, it's like the perfect mother character that you.
Yeah, she did a good job finding out her daughter's a Slayer. All the shit's going on. It's crazy as hell. You know, I thought she took stuff better than most non-informed people would take it. You know,
Right.
she made mistakes.
Right. Some other notable characters. Faith,
Yeah, she's a other Slayer.
other Slayer.
She comes along after Kendra. I said Kenya.
Right.
After Kendra.
Kendra. Yep.
Yeah.
But this one's a.
So when a Slayer dies, instantly one of the girls in the line that could be a Slayer gets the powers. And when Buffy dies season 1 for a moment,
Yep.
Kendra's born as a Slayer. She's alive. She's a teenage girl. They always are. They're a teenage girl when they start. And she got the power. She became the next Slayer. She gets into the scene. She dies, and Faith comes about.
Right.
So Faith,
who has a totally different upbringing.
Yeah, she's the
than
bad
Buffy.
girl, runaway punk girl. You know,
Right.
totally opposite of Buffy.
And
the dark sister, if you will.
And that also brings in Wesley, who is now her watcher. And now it's his job to reel Slayer into the Watchers organization to use as a weapon against their.
Technically, he's their watcher, but because Giles is fired at this point.
Right.
But he's just Faith's watcher, is how. Because Faith is her watcher gets killed before you never see him. She's introduced running from an old vampire. Well, Mr. Trick and Conquistos, or Kissing Toast is one of the names Buffy calls him. And they killed her watcher, and she was on the run, came to Buffy. So her next watcher becomes Wesley.
And then it's his job to, bring her in, train her.
Get the Slayers in line, rein them in, get them under control.
Right. And then, Faith also notices Buffy's life. She's got friends.
Everything Faith wanted. The runaway girl wants the family, the friends, the life, her French fries. It doesn't matter. She wants it.
Right. So eventually there's conflict between the two.
Absolutely. So, it starts early. They don't even see it at first. And then it just ramps up like it should.
Yeah. And then,
Faith goes from potential friend to potential Slayer, superhero sidekick buddy to I want you dead, and to a villain in
people.
It even shows with Kenya that two Slayers in presence of one another, which is something I think they could cover in the Buffyverse, they're going to become antagonistic toward one another. There can be only one Peter Parker in the room. Believe me, if the three of them keep hanging out, there's going to be trouble. One's darker, one's lighter, one's more noble, one's more headstrong, things are going to happen.
They're humans, they're different.
Right. You spend enough time around somebody, and I think it's amped up in Slayers. The mystical, there's only supposed to be one.
Yes.
So there's something in that makes it, there can only be one in a room for too long before they start arguing.
And then back to Wesley. When he enters the Buffy universe, he's this clumsy, stuffed up.
He's an English stuffy geek.
Basically, yes.
I mean, it's out of control what they did to this guy.
So that's where he starts.
He's a cliche, funny, physically fall down, scream like a girl, English comedian character. He's not, you can't take him, no one would take him seriously.
No. So, but he'll join Angel's show, and you'll see.
They'll develop an Angel, him and Cordelia, Angel.
Yeah, they all.
Jealous.
Yeah. And then season 4, after Angel leaves, starts his own show. They introduce a new character, kind of like a romantic character for Buffy, Riley Finn.
Right, with the Initiative, Maggie, Adam.
It's a military group like a Black Ops almost.
Right. The fight supernatural, capture them, experiment on them. It's a governmental, military, secret organization. You go figure that one out.
So, I mean, that's pretty much classic, right?
Right.
At this point.
Yeah, they do the cliche werewolf, the cliche military organization, the cliche people fighting the dark organization and the Watchers and stuff.
Right. But then another character is Tara McClay.
She becomes Willow's romantic interest later in this series.
Right.
They become witch buddies.
Witch buddies, yeah.
I believe to this day that's what draws Willow to Tara. I don't think that's. I think that's what turned her gay completely. I mean, she had it in her, but
Right.
that was it. The power she got when they put hands together.
Yes.
You saw everything change in Willow.
Yep.
It was like, a girl in love.
Right. And that eventually that power gets addictive.
Yeah. Of course, the nerd gets addicted to this stuff. Someone without power, given ultimate power, becomes very dangerous real quick. What is it? Power corrupts. Ultimate power corrupts ultimately.
Yeah.
I know there's other ways to say it, but that's how I just said it.
And now we'll talk about the main villains per season.
Okay. And the seasons themselves.
Yeah,
we'll talk about
the story arc of that season. So season 1, the first season, you have the Master as the main villain.
Right, the primary villain.
Who's stuck by a magic force field, I believe.
Yes, he's tried to cast a spell to bring about the end of the world. And he blew it. I think it was during an eclipse.
Yeah.
An earthquake happened and he's stuck in the spell. Underground, he can't come up. He's like they described it like, being stuck like a ship in a bottle. So he's stuck by this. It's not necessarily a force field. It's the spell he cast imprisoned him.
Okay.
He messed up, failed, fucked the spell up, and imprisoned himself. And he's trying to, for hundreds of years, has been trying to free himself. And the prophecy said that he'll free himself, he'll kill the Slayer, actually kill Buffy. Buffy is the one that he'll kill, and then he'll be free. That's the prophecy. He's been waiting for her to come to Sunnydale for centuries.
Right. I mean, and this is where he starts in the beginning, the pilot.
Right. Yep. He's the main villain from the beginning. The first season's a short season because they took over a show that failed, and they got their last half.
Right.
So it is a shorter season, but man, they cover a lot. And give you that early character idea that these people are going to be character driven.
Right. That season to me was like the hook.
Yes.
The hook. He wanted you to get those viewers. He hooked them in. You're like, oh, this is I like this.
Yeah, it had to be fast paced. It was smart. It was so different than all the other shows. It's like it was less procedural. It was all character. Now CW tried to maintain that. WB tried to maintain that in their stuff. But I still think Buffy's the pinnacle of character driven shows.
For sure. When I talk about the first character driven show, Buffy's that's what I say. Like that's when I said this is a different kind of show.
Yeah.
This is
I unfortunately for me, I didn't watch it the first season. I think it was late into season 2. Tina's sitting wanting to watch it, and I was watching it, man, this is nothing like the movie. What is this?
Right, that's the thing. The if you saw the movie, you would have been like, I don't want to watch this show.
I think it's maybe 5 to 10 minutes in, not even 10 minutes. There's no way. It was about 5 minutes into the very first episode I'm watching with her. I'm like, I gotta stop. I want to see this from the beginning. I do not want this episode to ruin my knowledge of what I want to go see.
Right.
I was like, okay, how do I watch it?
So the first season, you got the Master trying to break the spell, get free.
Right. You got everybody introducing, meeting each other, forming friendships and bonds.
Right, and you got
this is the show. This first season is really impressive. I compare it to Battlestar Galactica. I love that show too. These two shows, their first seasons, they were ready to tell the story.
Yeah,
they were ready to go. And a lot of shows aren't like that. Like Angel, we'll talk about later. It struggled at first. You could tell they didn't know what to do with it.
It's
Buffy, but Battlestar Galactica and Buffy, they had the seasoning to them. They're ready to go. Battlestar more than Buffy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But they both have it where
Right.
they're just ready to go. They're ready to tell a good story. They've gotten original good ideas, even though Battlestar is based on a show from the past. It still had wonderful modern ideas, its own way to tell stories.
Yeah.
Buffy does that same thing. Josh is really good at, I think he showed it off in the Avengers. He's really good at making you believe that each character is an individual. They have their own feelings, their own, and they're not just some cookie cutter person stuck in here just to make the scene.
Well, I believe that's one of the reasons he got hired for Avengers was he knows how to
this
control
resume, this Buffy resume alone.
He knows.
I mean,
he knows
I'd hire this dude to film anything for me. It's just amazing how he tells a story.
Right. He knows how to do characters, give them each their own time and what they need to talk about. So, but in season 1, you also get some characters that you'll see later in both Buffy and Angel. Darla comes to mind as one of the first ones. She's in the first episode.
Darla's in the first season of Buffy. She ends up being in the second season of Angel.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and then
you get Darla, you get Drusilla. Those Drusilla and Spike come season 2.
Yeah, they come season 2.
That's right. Buffy's the hat season. I mix seasons sometimes.
Yeah,
that's just a universe to me.
It is. It's tough to.
But yeah, they don't come till season 2. So this, you just get Drusilla, the Master. They're the only float over villains, right?
Right. And then season 2 comes after it was a hit.
Yeah, season 1 was a hit. This Master ends up, the prophecy comes true. He kills Buffy. He drinks her blood. He drowns her. Angel and Xander show up, and in this universe, vampires don't actually have breath.
Right.
So he can't revive Buffy. Buffy's dead. She had drowned. Xander performs CPR, saves her life. She gets up, invigorated, ready to kick some ass, full Slayer mode. The Slayer has kicked in. But when she died, the Slayer line died, jumped, and gave it to her power. Not her power, but the Slayer power to Kendra. Buffy still retains her power, but now we have 2 Slayers in the world for the first time.
Right. And
that's a story arc we don't know about
yet.
Okay. But she kills the Master. She ends up, after being invigorated, beats the shit out of the Master on the roof, kills him at the school. It's the first time you get to see the idea of the Hellmouth. There's creatures coming out of the Hellmouth. The Master's free. He's going to reign. The stars themselves will hide, all that. But she kills him. Season over. Everybody likes her dress. It's a hit.
Right. So season 2, the main villain in that is Spike. He gets introduced.
Yeah, the couple, Spike and Drusilla.
That's the love of his life right now. And didn't he turn Drusilla, or was that
Drusilla turned Spike?
Okay, that's right. So
Darla's turned Angel. Angel turned Drusilla.
Drusilla turned Spike.
Right.
Okay.
There's something special about that line of vampires in the Buffyverse.
Right.
They all kept pieces of themselves. Skipped the generation in Angelus, it seems. But the rest of them had a uniqueness. All of them had a specialty.
Right.
You know, Angelus, the first vampire with a soul, you know, turned back into Angel, you know. Drusilla, she's crazy psychic. She's got the psychic powers. So her, not so much to me either. She's kind of in that Angelus realm where something, you know, they just are but Spike, Drusilla, they had a specialty. There was something special about even Angel and Darla and Drusilla. They all had a special to them. Yeah.
Right.
They weren't like every other vampire.
No. So yeah, Spike's the big bad in this one.
Right. Kills the what's it called? The anointed one.
The anointed one. That's how they start saying.
Yeah, that's where they come in.
Where they're basically like, this is our town.
Yeah, they kill him, take over, become the bosses.
And so they're they're trying to.
Spike has killed Slayers before, you find out, and he's here to kill Buffy.
Yeah,
His whole sole purpose for coming here was we find out later, but he had promised Drusilla that he wasn't infatuated with the Slayers. He's going to go kill a Slayer to prove it, and he goes to kill Buffy. He's at Sunnydale to kill a Slayer. He needs to kill a Slayer.
Yep.
Buffy's the only Slayer he's going after. So he's going after. That's why he arrives at Sunnydale originally. That's his whole purpose, to kill Buffy.
Come to kill Buffy,
to impress Drusilla.
But of course, he's unable to succeed in
It's
that.
not just to impress her. She's been injured so bad that he needs Angelus to heal Darla. Darla's sick.
Right.
She's been injured so badly.
Right. Yeah,
she was almost killed by a mob at Prague.
Yeah, there's been, during that season, he's tried to capture an Angel, I believe.
Yes, and he had to get through Buffy to capture Angel because he needed Angel for the spell to heal Darla.
Oh, yeah, there we go. And speaking of which, Buffy and Angel do
not cure Darla. My fault. Cure Drusilla. Darla's dead at this point.
Right.
They kill her in season 1.
But
was it season 1?
Yeah, because Angel does it.
Yeah.
Like
I said, sometimes the seasons.
It's a whole universe. So the seasons bleed together, especially show to show. Sometimes it just, you don't know which one's which sometimes, but it's in the same universe. So, but Buffy and Angel end up hooking up, and that's when
you find out that about Angel's curse. He's been cursed and put in the body of the vampire that possessed him by a gypsy family, that he had destroyed their family, the village. So a community of gypsies captured him, put a curse on him, put Angel's soul back in Angelus's body when he was a vampire. Now that's where Angel comes from. He's back. He remembers everything he did as a vampire, that his body did as a vampire, and he can't separate it. And I can understand. I might not be able to. I would hope I could separate it. But you're put back in a body. You were murdered.
Yeah.
You die. You're possessed. You're gone. Boom. You're gone. You don't know anything. Then you come back with memories of centuries of murdering people, just twisted Angelus style. And Angelus was evil.
Right.
The evilest of the vampires.
Right. Really evil.
I mean, just a dark character. Yeah, he invented serial killers, right? That's what it's like. I mean, he's really twisted. He's smart. He's genius.
Right.
I mean, and he makes Angel look dumb sometimes. Yeah. The way I'm like, this dude is smart.
He did this for fun.
Right.
He did the murdering and the serial killing just
mostly for fun. Yeah. Yes, they have to feed, but that's not why he did it. He tortured Drusilla. Destroyed her whole family, and then her clan got revenge. Then he turns Drusilla into a vampire and kills all the nuns that have been helping her since he drove her crazy, killed all her family, tortured her. Drusilla had visions. She was a psionic, so she was. And back then, you were evil. You were possessed at that. Like that. So she was told her whole life she's possessed. She's evil. And then this demon comes along and says, "Oh, you're possessed. You're evil. You're going to hell."
Right.
And just drove her nuts, killed her whole family. That's where you get the curse. Angel's put back in the body, and he has to remember all that. That would suck, man. I don't know. I would hope I could separate. It might take some time, but I would hope could separate.
I think there's like a time frame where you feel insane. Where
Spike spent 2 weeks in the basement. How's that fair?
Stuff
like
that. Yeah.
I spent 100 years trying to get over this shit. You spent fucking 2 weeks in the basement, man. Now you good? Get the fuck out of here.
Right. So Angelus comes into the picture now.
Right.
So
that's really the trio of villains of the season.
Right. But I like,
they bring in a demon, the judge, that can burn people with a touch, and then it becomes he can just burn people from a distance.
But I still think
the judge fails in killing Buffy. He was supposed to be able to kill Buffy. He blows it. Literally gets blown up by a rocket launcher. And that's when the Scooby Gang with Cordelia, Oz, Buffy, Xander, Willow, Giles. That's when they're all on working on all cylinders.
Yes.
Everything's boom. They're kicking butt. And Jealous has amped up his torture on Buffy into the season because that's what he starts to do is torture Buffy immediately after they have sex.
Again, that's part of his
he doesn't just want to kill you. He wants to torture you until you can't take it.
Yeah.
And then
you could say he likes to play with it.
Yes, it's disgusting. He's an evil villain. I mean, he's a villain. I like him. I mean, you know, but I know evil when I see it. Jealous is evil.
Yeah. Very, very pure.
Yeah. He even as villains, you got to be careful. You can't really team with him. You got to watch.
And team with him. He's definitely not a team person. He's a solo. If he's in your team, he's using you for some kind of purpose of his own.
Yeah, he's always his own mastermind.
So
that's one of the things I like about him. He's a lightweight Lex Luthor. No, not putting Lex Luthor down or pumping Angel, but he's got that. He's not thinking what you're thinking. He's thinking, and I like that.
Right. So we also introduce Giles' love interest in this season, who turns out to be part of the Gypsy family that.
Was she introduced in season 2? She wasn't in one
I'm
not sure. So
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna go with you.
I'm just saying. I'm guessing season 2 because season 1 was so short.
Yeah, it was short, and that's what I said. I mixed them because season 1 was a quarter, or 66% of it.
Yeah. So
what was it, like 12 to 15 episodes or something?
Yeah, it was like half the season.
Yeah, it was better than any of the 12 to 15 episode shows out today, suckers.
Right. So she gets introduced to
Jenny Calendar. We find out that she's one of the Gypsy clan members that's keeping an eye on Angel, making sure he doesn't turn into Angelus accidentally, have this moment of pure happiness. 1 split second is all it takes for him to be kicked out of the body and the vampire take over.
And that's what happens.
That's exactly what happens. Yes. A moment of pure happiness. He's brooded for 100 years. Buffy has a happy moment, and Angelus is set free.
And then Giles finds out about Jenny, and there's a rift.
So Giles loves Jenny. Jenny's in love with Giles, and then this happens, and
she wants to repair it by trying to
find the curse for Buffy to put Angel's soul back and get everything right.
Which this ends up getting her killed when Angelus finds out about it.
Well, what's crazy about it is they set it up perfectly. It's I think it's like when you tell a tale, this is what you want to do. There's a big rift between her and Giles and the Scooby Gang. And there's a no, and months or weeks and weeks of no, you're just a bad guy now. We don't like you. And then Buffy says, Giles mentions you. I want y'all to have a chance. I don't want to stand in the way of y'all maybe finding happiness. And so her and Giles just start to the beginning of mending things. And Angelus, twisted ass, snaps her neck, says, meet me at, here, sets up the love scene, the roses up the stairs,
Angelus
the champagne,
way.
The dead body laying in the bed of the person that you love, and you're just about to rekindle with. Damn. Just sends Giles into an uproar.
Right. So, I mean, all that's going on. During the season, Spike gets injured and is in a wheelchair for a little
after
bit.
He's able to repair Drusilla with Angel's blood and a little bit of his essence, since he's the one that turned Drusilla into a vampire. They needed him. He gets injured, and then at the end of that episode, he gets his back broken. And at the end of that episode, Drusilla's healthy again, and she's carrying him out, saying she's going to take care of him now. And Drusilla is by far, in my opinion, the scariest vampire on Buffy, in the Buffy universe that I've seen.
Very true.
She is so eerie. She's eerie as hell, man. She looks like she's really a vampire.
Yeah.
I mean,
eerie.
She does the character well.
Yes. And then, of course, there's some animosity between Spike and Angelus.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, that almost father-son relationship where Spike's always pushing against Angelus. Angelus is always, slyly mocking and pushing against Spike. So yeah, Spike being paralyzed puts Angelus over the top. He feels like he's in charge. The world is his for the taking.
Right. But, he ends up healing and getting out of the wheelchair, but
Yeah, without needing what Drusilla needs. That's what I'm saying about Spike, that unique character. He heals his broken back on his own. It just happens.
right.
And he goes and tells Buffy Angelus's, in his opinion, dumbass plan to destroy the world that we all live in.
Right.
This is where we're at. This is what we're doing. Let's do it.
Right. And then they ended up finding the spell for the curse spell to get Angel's soul back.
Yes.
Uh,
She found it right before she died.
right before she died, and
She put it on a hard disk.
and that fell between the desk,
And yeah.
lost for episodes until the end.
Yeah, until Buffy remembered a prophecy, and then the prophecy happened. She's like, wait, this happened. She dropped the pencil again, and then she found it. She said, what's this? Willow put it in. They find that the curse, they find out how to do the curse.
Right. And now there's a conflict then with Buffy right now.
She wants her love back. It's like, your boyfriend, girlfriend,
Right.
loved one.
Right.
You could get him back.
Right. But now that he started the apocalypse here.
Yeah, if he starts the apocalypse as Angelus, if it starts, the only way to stop it is to impale him with this sword, a knightly sword.
Right.
And then at the point, once it starts, that's the only way to stop it. If you can stop it beforehand, you can just stop it. We'll get the soul. That's the plan, is to get the soul back in Angelus's body.
Right. And then they're trying, while she's fighting Angelus, they're trying to do the spell to get the soul back.
Right.
And as soon as she impales him.
Right before she impales him,
but,
they get the soul back in Angelus's body, Angel's back.
But she realizes
and Buffy kisses him. He doesn't know what's going on as Angel. He hasn't gotten the memories yet.
Right.
Obviously, it's a shock to wake up.
Right.
From being dead again. And he's like, what's going on? Buffy's like, nothing, don't worry about it. These words aren't said. I'm paraphrasing the scene. But she ends up kissing. They kiss. She says, close your eyes. Without question, he closes his eyes. And she runs him through. Ends the season, the season, by killing the person, getting everything right, except she didn't get there in time.
Right.
That's when Xander did something that I thought was pretty dirty. It's the first time I said that was dirty as Xander. When I forget how it went, but Xander lied to Buffy and said, kick his ass.
Right.
When it was like, hold off.
Right.
We're going to try to get the soul back in.
Right.
Instead, Xander lied, I don't think it would have made a difference, but it was still dirty.
It was dirty, but
it was him. He doesn't get the difference between the vampire and the person.
Right.
So everything Angelus did, he sees the Angel did.
Right.
As far as he's concerned,
I mean, that's an internal conflict in himself too.
Right. And I understand it. I agree. I get it.
Right. I get it too.
And like I said, I hope I could get over if it happened to me, but some people won't, and I understand that they don't. And I wouldn't if you killed a whole bunch of people I loved, and then you was like Mark again. But the demon Marcus, I'd still always be weary of you, no matter how much I trust. We'd never have the same relationship again.
That's why Angel and Giles never have a good relationship after that.
Because he tortured Giles.
Right.
For fun.
Right. Just for fun.
Right. Just because
he thought it'd be funny.
Didn't have chainsaws when I used to torture people.
Right. We also learned in this season, Joyce finds out that Buffy is a Slayer.
Yeah, her mom finds out she's a Slayer and loses it. I mean, in many ways.
What I think a parent would do when they find out their daughter's battling.
Yeah, so all this time you've been sneaking out, fighting demons and vampires is what the idea she learns. She doesn't realize that it's demons.
Right. Yet. So she, and their last talk or their last argument, she basically tells Buffy, "You leave, don't come back."
Ending the season with Buffy not coming back and running away.
So then
to LA.
So then we come to season 3 where we start off and Buffy's in LA. She's taken up a different name. She dropped Buffy and became Anne. So this is her way of trying to leave Buffy behind and start a whole new life.
Right. She's running away from it all, like the hero many protagonists do.
Yes. But
Especially the young ones. What's
Yeah.
the answer? I got to get out of here.
Right. And but eventually she realizes her destiny. She's got to go back. She can't stay, can't become a new person. She's got to be Buffy
Right.
again.
She learns that even in LA, she's Buffy.
Buffy. She's going to be Buffy no matter where she goes.
Yeah, that scene always pops in my head. I'm Buffy. Vampire Slayer. She says her sign, or I know people know the line by heart and stuff, but I haven't watched it in a while, so I don't remember the lines. But they'll come back. You watch that. For me, I watch them so many times. They're like that comfort show.
Right.
All the shows we're going to talk about to me these are the shows.
Right. So while she's in LA, the Scooby Gang, they're still together.
Yeah, they're a new Scooby. They're full. It's Cordelia,
Oz, part of it.
Willow. Did we talk about the werewolf Oz? We did, right?
We talked about him being a werewolf.
We got Oz the werewolf, Cordelia the cheerleader. I guess that's what we'll call her. She's the mean girl.
Right.
Xander and Willow have formed their own little unit. Giles is a part of this too, because they're still reporting to Giles. He's still playing the headmaster, the mentor.
Right.
And Buffy's gone in LA.
Right.
Dealing with her own, fixing herself mentally. That's what you got to do sometimes as the hero.
Yeah.
You got to kill the person you fell in love, the first person you truly fell in love with. You got to kill them.
Yeah.
That ends your day. That would suck, man. I might be in LA being a waitress getting slapped on the ass too.
so I mean, when she returns, there's some animosity between her and Scooby Gang.
And the Scooby Gang, yeah, there's tension because the way it all went down.
Right. She didn't tell them. She just left.
Yeah, she just dipped, got on a bus and off to LA.
But the big bad in this season is Mayor Wilkins.
Yep, Richard Wilkins.
So
it's a very unique villain again.
So he's a full demon, not half.
Well, actually, he's human right now. He starts off as human and immortal. He's a human waiting for the time that he can do a ritual and become who he is. Like basically, he's a caterpillar.
Right.
So the caterpillar is human.
So he's stuck as a human right now.
Right. And as he gets closer to becoming a demon, he becomes invulnerable, indestructible. Nothing can stop the process once it starts. But so he's been controlling Sunnydale for generations. They find out that the gang, once they get back together, finds out he's been running the town for centuries.
Right. And it's since he's the mayor, basically the Scooby Gang versus the town. No one's gonna believe him anyway. So
that's also when this is the season you get Mr. Trick, Conquistos, Faith, right?
Yep.
This is the season.
This is the season when those get introduced. So yeah, Trick is
So this is the season he's get to meet that new Slayer.
Right.
This is
the third
Slayer. All alive. Well, always two alive at the same time from this point on.
Right.
We find out.
Right.
From this point forward, there will always be a minimum of two Slayers alive on Earth at the same time. And the idea was there was only supposed to be one.
Right.
So by Buffy being revived by her friend, because Slayers don't have friends up to this point, Buffy was different. All the Slayers before this were military. They were taken from the potential Slayers were not snatched, but if they had to be, they would be. But usually willing, given over by the parents to the Watchers, who would from a young age start training them to be Slayers just in case they were the one that became a Slayer. And Buffy didn't. That didn't happen to Buffy. They missed her. And so by the time they got to her, she was already a Slayer. She already had the power that couldn't, just snatch this teenage girl from her home.
Right.
So a new idea of a Slayer developed, one that had friends, that went to school, that wasn't shunned from the world and only did vampire and demon hunting. This Slayer was normal. She was like a superhero. She had her her super Buffy side and her school Buffy side, which blended very well in the sense that she was Buffy the whole time. I like how she like jocks would be afraid of her because she was super strong.
Yep.
You know, they knew, oh shit, Buffy's here.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
shit, we can't fuck around. Buffy will fuck you up. Teachers thought she was a hoodlum. No,
Right.
her mom thought she was a hoodlum.
Right.
Even after the powers, her
Right.
mom still thought she was a hoodlum sometimes.
Right. And then I mean you also had the principal and heavily in this.
Oh,
third
Mr.
season.
Snyder.
Yeah, Mr. Snyder.
Oh my goodness, Principal Snyder. What can I say? He was an awesome character.
Yeah. I mean there were times where you're like, is he a villain too?
Right. And in essence, he knew what was going on in Sunnydale. So
Right.
that
He was
does make him a accomplice, so it makes him a villain. Not in that sense. He was just a human that was trying to keep as much order as he could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was just aligned with their dark people. They were the ones in charge. So
Exactly.
it made sense.
So yeah.
He fell in line. That's the system. You either fall in line, and if you fall in line, you got to be a principal. Accommodations, awards.
Yep. And then yeah, you have Faith, the new Slayer.
Yep.
Who came from a different kind of background than Buffy.
Khaki trousers, kissing toes, had killed her Slayer. I mean, her Watcher. She was a tomboy raised by a single mother who was a drunk or whatever. So she was the classic tomboy hoodlum, runaway,
right, and then
punk kid.
Then she meets Buffy, and seeing her life, like,
man, is that always what I've dreamed of?
Right, and you've talked about it before that how much she wanted Buffy, wanted just to be Buffy,
just be her, right? Live her life, like the scene with the French fry. I'm telling you, man, that scene is when I knew this is two Slayers can't exist together. They can't hang out together. It showed in Kendra and Buffy's relationship, the arguments, but with Faith, it really, because she was the bad girl. She wanted to be seen as the bad girl.
Yes,
she was the firecracker, the one that if they said you can't jump, then she jumped. You know, she wanted to have that image,
right?
And so but she really wanted to be. That was the image she projected to be tough,
right?
That was to hide who she really was. She wanted to be Buffy's life. She's seen it. She wanted it. She needs it.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy goes into the kitchen to get her something to drink, being nice. Like she couldn't get up, or my mom couldn't get up and get her something to drink. I got to go get her something to drink. So I'm going to get her something to drink. Faith's got a plate. Buffy's got a plate. Joyce has got a plate. There's a bowl of French fries in front of Faith. Faith reaches over to Buffy's plate, pulls off a French fry. Yeah, oh, I knew right then.
Right.
That's how you tell me secretly that's a villain. That's how you let me know she's a villain. She's an anti-hero at minimum.
Yeah. They do that well throughout this series, Angel series.
Yeah. You can see something's up with Riley early.
Yeah.
Something's up. This dude is just something up. Look at this dude and his friends.
Yeah. So the Mayor Wilkins is trying to get
he's trying to get to an ascension so he can eat all of Sunnydale. His goal is to come full demon, which is Buffy's never faced before this season. And he wants to become that giant, because every demon she's faced here has been a half demon,
right? Mixed
with human blood. He's going to have no human blood once he ascends. He'll become a giant reptilian demonoid monster. He'll be powerful, and hard to destroy.
Right.
Guns won't do it. Bullets won't do it. Fire, it's going to take more. And that's his goal, is to ascend. He wants to become that demon. Eat Sunnydale and sleep for a few centuries and eat another town.
Right. So basically, the finale is Ascension.
Right. Ascension Day.
Which coincides with Sunnydale's graduation.
Right. So, which is perfect. Have some young, fresh kids to eat as he ascends.
Yep.
Then he can take that appetizer and turn on the town and have dinner.
Yep. And then, but
fortunately, the Scooby Gang finds everything out.
Right. And
they develop a plan to turn the school into an army ready to fight. And then they're going to turn Sunnydale itself into a bomb.
That's what they did. Yeah.
I was quick to break that one down. That's it, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the show is about character. You watch it, you'll fall in love with the characters. You might hate some. I hate some of the characters. Some characters I don't like.
And
but that's the show. That's the idea.
With Faith, she ended up going to the mayor joining his side. Uh, the- and then there's a final battle between her and Buffy, which ends with Faith getting put in a coma. So that's where she.
Yeah, we're breaking the season down in like a 20 minute period. So we can't even tell you an episode.
No, so
but we're just breaking them down.
So I mean, and so
that ends with them.
Yeah,
Put Faith in a coma. She ends up in a coma because her and Buffy have to have an epic first Slayer battle ever.
Right.
Real Slayer to the
Right.
end battle. It's the first Slayer to the death battle ever. Buffy wins.
So at the end, they defeat the mayor in his full demon form.
In the combat, in the shows, the fights are so well done. Well done.
Yes.
The I'm telling you, man, some of the best combat scenes around. So if you're into just like action movies, it's got it. There's action in every episode. Well, there might be an episode that slipped through that there was not a lot of action that I missed, but I think there's action in every episode.
Yeah. And at the end, it's revealed that Angel's leaving.
Yeah, he's going to leave. He's going to do the thing. Joyce's conversation with him makes him look at it in a way he wouldn't have.
Which basically goes to start his own show, spin-off Angel. So, and then we come to season 4, and a couple of the characters are going to college at this point.
Yep. Yeah, we've got everybody going in different directions. The girls go off to college. Xander goes to see the world. Supposedly, that doesn't last long.
No.
Giles is lost. He has nothing to do. The Slayers moved on to college.
Right. So, this season is basically the characters have to refine themselves.
Right.
You know? Like a normal in your life. Like, okay, after high school, what am I doing now? And it's not guaranteed that we're going to be together all the time now. So, but I mean, for the most part, the Scooby Gang stays intact. Enter Riley Finn. It's season 4. This is his Buffy's new love interest.
Right, her first love interest since Angel left.
Right. So, they, like you said before, they kind of like,
which really isn't that long. It's summer.
No.
Like teenage romance should be, no matter how passionate or real you think it is. That's what happens when you break up. You move on. It's
right.
Over. And within a summer, you're looking for love, and it happens.
Then they hint at that Riley's different. He's not. But
yeah, there are hints that Riley and his buddies are a little different.
Right. So
they're not just regular college kids. You get that early on.
So so one of the main villains is Dr. Walsh, Maggie Walsh.
Maggie, yeah.
She's running this kind of like a Black Ops demon hunting,
supernatural Black Ops government organization.
Right.
Called the Initiative.
Right. And they have their eye on Buffy.
Yeah, they're in Sunnydale this year.
But this is also where one of the main seasons where they bring back Spike.
Yep, Spike returns. He gets captured by the Initiative. It's hilarious.
Right.
The Initiative, the way they got him, he's talking some mad junk. Boom, he's done. He's electrocuted. He's shocked up, ready to go, put in a cell.
Right. And then they experiment on him and give him plant a device where he can't feed on humans.
Yeah, he can't hurt anyone anymore.
So they basically put a shock collar on him.
Yeah, but a serious one. Like,
right.
It's like it'll put you down. Like, you can't do it. The harder he tries, the more it hurts.
Which this starts on a different path for Spike. It's still gonna be Spike, but it's the start of the character's evolution. So, and then,
this chip kind of starts to, in a way, subdue the Spike side of the what's going on. William, the bloody, or before that, William starts to come through more. The person,
right,
starts to not. It's like he's almost repossessing the demon in a way. In that way, he's like
but
this shock collar is it's subduing the vampire urges in him, allowing the rest of him that was just what he took over at William to start showing through.
Right.
It's a different dynamic to vampires and stuff.
Yeah.
I've never seen or heard anything like it. I like the Buffy versus original. All the shows we're going to talk about are very original, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Is very original. It's nothing. Then they have the names in common.
Right. But other than that, it's its own.
I know you haven't seen Spartacus, but man, you need to watch that. Oh, you've seen Spartacus? You've seen them all? Yeah. Okay, sweet. Wait, what were we talking about? You haven't seen originals?
Yeah.
Okay. That's another one I think you should watch. That's where it's up to you after that. Because I've watched some of the Legacy. Watched the first couple seasons of that. I haven't watched them all yet, but there are.
Oh yeah, I'll check out originals.
Yeah,
I think I started it, and then something happened. I just haven't got back to it.
Okay.
So, anyways, so Dr. Walsh starts getting interested in the Slayer, and
yeah, she's really like
the
initiative is the scientist teacher, Dr. Walsh, who has had a positive influence on Buffy, loves her. Buffy's like now correcting Giles with Maggie Walsh stuff. Who is this Maggie Walsh?
Right.
This bitch that's replaced me. Giles is already feeling he's useless. Now he's feeling replaced with this Maggie Walsh, who he's happy. He knew the initiative. He knew it. He knew she couldn't have been a good person.
Right. And I mean, and this organization is almost like giving steroids to their soldiers.
Yeah, they're putting drugs into their soldiers to make them more powerful, more obedient, more focused.
Right, and it's addictive.
Yeah, it's power. They're giving them power. They're experimenting on the demons they're capturing. So if they can use and meld demons together, they will. And then they meet the Slayer who can beat all these demons, and so they're real interested in her. What is this?
And
because at this point, this military organization doesn't think of it as supernatural.
No,
they think of these things as just monsters, like beings.
Right.
They are. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are, but she doesn't believe in them. They don't believe in the mystical side of it, like most governments.
Right.
They believe in the science side of it.
There's a science side.
The nature side of it.
They're going to crack that code.
Right. And the Slayer is really interesting to Maggie.
So
she brings Buffy and allows Buffy into the fold because she's interested in learning about her.
Right.
Things she wouldn't have done normally, but she really wants to know.
Right. But also she's not liking the Riley and the Buffy getting together, because that's going to interfere with her soldier, and she won't like that because he's going to start listening more to Buffy's what she has to say than what.
Yeah, she doesn't care at first until she sees the dynamic and she sees that he's now asking questions that he would have never asked because of this little bitch. That's how she looks at it. You can tell.
Exactly.
You can tell she looks at Buffy as a bitch. That's the word that comes to my head when I see her. We'll look at Buffy a bunch of times. There's a bunch of times I'm like, man, if Buffy seen that, if she was me, I would have seen her look at me like that. I see how people look at me.
Right.
And so I would have said, what the fuck? What's your problem? Buffy just missed the looks. There's a couple times I was like,
well, yeah, because she's
and the one time obviously it was behind a camera. There's a couple other times I was like, man, if Buffy would have seen that, she would have said something. But the Walsh is starting to become her new mentor. That's right. So she doesn't see that, right?
Right, not yet.
She's looking up to Walsh. Walsh is just interested in her because of her power.
Right. And then
that she sees Buffy corrupting Riley is when she ups the jealousy hate factor, because she's jealous that Buffy has power.
Right.
As a scientist, man, wish I could harness that. I wish I could have that.
Right. And then what's going on with Walsh also is she is piecing together a demon soldier.
Right. She's making her own Frankenstein named Adam.
So
her son.
Right.
Well, he calls her mother all the time.
Right. So, but he ends up Adam ends up killing Walsh and freeing himself, and using the teaching she's taught him to go.
Right. He takes literally what she says, which is pretty standard. Turn everybody into something like me and take over the world.
Yep.
And he's a powerful cybernetic monster, magic, all in one. He's just very
right. Like it's
he's
kind of
truly the villain of the season in the end.
right.
Maggie is the Frankenstein. Adam is the monster.
Right.
So it's just like that. You
Right.
first you learn all about Frankenstein, Maggie. Then she's dead, gets killed by the mob, her own creation.
Right.
That's usually it. Usually your own creation.
Right.
And then Frankenstein is what we're here for. We want to see this motherfucker. But they did. She was the best Dr. Frankenstein ever, in my opinion. So I got to give them that.
Right.
It's even though they did a Frankenstein episode earlier on, this was another level.
It's basically a Dr. Frankenstein with military applications. That's what I like. It kind of combined the two, where you got the secret black.
Right. You had and magic. So you had it all. You had like these 3 or 4 elements of creature in one. You had the monster, the demon, which was magic. You even had like some like you could see the future. You could feel spells didn't work on him.
Right.
Like when the rest of the town was under Jonathan's spell, he saw right through it. He's like, this will all fade. It's not real.
Right.
And you know, everybody else was in love with Jonathan. He knew that it's a spell. It didn't affect him. He was a different kind of creature. He was unique, and he saw that his uniquenesses made him say, unlike Frankenstein, who just wanted to fit in, this one said, hey, I'll just make you all me.
Right.
We'll all be Adams. Y'all be lesser versions, but y'all still be like me.
So I mean, so he ends up getting his own crew together, vampires mostly, and he wants to re-image even vampires. He wants to
right. He wants to repurpose the creatures for better cause in his mind. You know, they can be used to make me my army.
Right.
Literally, he has aspirations to literally take over the world.
Right.
In a Adam way, in a Frankenstein way, I'm gonna make everybody like me. It's human. All the humans will be me, and everything else will either fit in or be destroyed by me.
Right. So I mean,
he's an AI, magic, demons, all this stuff wrapped up into one.
Yeah. So the Scooby Gang has to stop him.
They try, kicks their butts. He busts them up a bunch. They decide the only way they can do it is to mystically Frankenstein themselves. And that's one of my favorite episodes of all. It really is that episode where they're arguing, they're fighting, everything's going down, and then the Scooby Gang is falling apart. It's just everybody hates each other. Spike gets him broken up, you know, because he's working with Adam. He gets them all at each other's throat. But when Xander's like, Willow's gay, and Giles is like, bloody hell. All that whole ending, that part of the season is just it's what solidified that Buffy is unstoppable. It's going to become, I knew then it was going to become comic books. If it wasn't already, I didn't know about that. They were. I don't think they were yet. I knew that it was going to, do it all. It was going to just do all that stuff. It was done. It was an icon for good. They got the perfect characters. Like you see, people knew Spider-Man's born. They didn't say, oh, this character, with Buffy, this it's going on forever.
Right.
There'll be more stuff to come for sure. And it's still going in comics.
And I mean, so I believe this is the one where they used a missile launcher to stop them. Is that right?
Who are we talking about?
Adam? Didn't.
No. Remember? Okay, so it goes. I got you. So the initiative is Adam creates a Trojan horse within the initiative. Secretly, he has an offshoot base within the initiative that nobody knows about, and he's helping the initiative. He's got the monsters working with him. Their monsters working together. It's weird as fuck. Even the Scooby Gang notices. What the fuck? These demons are working together? A vampire and this demon? What the fuck is going on? We captured them real easy. And so he's creating a Trojan horse by capturing all the demons, having the initiative capture all the demons. And now the demons are going to kill the humans. The humans are going to kill the demons once he releases the cages. They're going to tear each other apart. He's got all the body parts he needs to make more Adams.
Adams, right.
So he kills Gunn. Gunn becomes an Atom. Well, not Gunn. What do I call him? Gunn. I can't think of his name.
I
Riley's friend.
Yeah, it's Riley. We'll just call him Riley's friend.
Riley's friend. Dang, I ain't seen it in a while, and I forgot his name. I never liked this dude though. And sometimes when I don't like you, I your name. You know, it's like people I meet in real life. Suddenly, you can tell me your name 10 times and I forget it. In video games with people I played with for months, year, sometimes I look at their name to remember what I want to call them, just because how my name thing works. So I can't remember his name, but I thought of Gunn, so that was pretty racist. But that's cool.
Okay.
But yeah, he turns him. Adam releases the demons, all that. Riley finds out he's got a chip. He can be controlled. He's pissed. He ends up overriding the chip and cutting the chip out of himself and freeing himself, helping the gang. They fight Adam. Buffy, Xander, Willow, and Giles get together and they go defeat Adam. How they do it is Buffy heads off to attack Adam, while Xander, Giles, and Willow become, in essence, a Voltron. They get their energies together. Willow's is the mind. Giles is the essence. Xander is the heart. Buffy is the vessel. And they put their energies into Buffy. And Adam's talking shit at this point, whipping Buffy's ass all over the place, handing it to her. You know, like I'm gonna age myself in this one, but how George Foreman handed it to Joe Frazier. He's just mopping the floor with Buffy, and then Buffy gets they become the super Buffy, or the Scooby Buffy, whatever you call them, and she just starts kicking Adam's ass. She starts using magic, putting it, like he pulls out a missile launcher to fire at her, and she just puts it away.
Okay.
And then she does this is a badass martial arts, whoops his ass, reaches in his chest with an attack and pulls out his core. And that's what keeps him alive, was his nuclear power core.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And that was the only way to defeat him, but get that out of him. So and the essence go back, and that's not the last episode. The last episode, they have a dream together, or the similar dreams, where they have these weird dreams. A guy with the cheese. Everybody's dream is weird. Everybody's involved. Some personal thing with them.
Right.
And then that's how that season ends.
Okay.
They defeated Adam. Then they have an episode. It's like an off episode, like an ending episode, where they're all at Buffy's house. They went to watch the movies and they all pass out.
Oh yeah.
Go into dreamland and have these weird dreams.
Well, that's
where you first have a hint of the original Slayer, where you get the original Slayer.
Okay.
And then that's the final episode.
Okay. And that's also where the Dawn Summers character.
Yeah. That's the first time where you see Dawn.
Where which left everyone confused, like, what?
Yeah, who the hell is Dawn? Right. That's how it ends.
So that's how season 4 ends. And then we come to season 5.
5 is one of my, I love Gore. She reminds me of,
that was the main villain, and she's
one of the iterations I did for Pyro in Heroes Unlimited for you guys. We were role playing, all of us, a bunch of us. She reminds me, it's like they literally stole that character and put her on, named her Glorificus, and put her on Buffy. Just her struggle, her psychotic struggle. The only thing that was, she wasn't like two beings, like Ben and Glory one, but the way she talked, the way she was superficial. She wanted, she was the queen in the room. She was the god in the room everywhere she wanted to. That's how it was. I'm in charge wherever I go. I like that. Reminded me of Pyrosia. I remember Dooley said that. He's one of our older friends. He was like, man, she reminds me of Pyrosia. I was like, doesn't she though? And I remember we were all in the basement playing that time. It was like, I don't know, 8 of us, 9 of us. And everybody that had seen it been like, yeah. Joey didn't know. He didn't have a clue. He didn't watch Buffy. But all the rest of us had seen it.
Right. Later, you come to find out that Dawn Summers is
an energy key that holds the dimensions, a key to open doors to all the dimensions.
Right.
She's a dimensional key.
And that's who.
And Glory's trapped here in a human body, male human body. She can break out and be Glory. So that they're like they're kind of like a symbiote. It's keeping Glory anchored and not being able to go back to her realm.
Right.
She was a god in her, a demon, a goddess, a god in her realm, and there were two other gods. They battled. The two gods turned against her. She was so evil that they turned against her and banished her into human form in this realm. And in that lifetime, she has to hurry up and find this key and get back home so she can kill them motherfuckers for jumping.
Right.
And that's her goal. But she's super. She's so, again, that mean girl. She's that perfect mean girl princess, but she's not. She's the. I would call her more queen. She's queen. You will bow that. I love her minions.
Mm-hmm.
They're great. The minions that she has.
Yes. You're also having fallout from the previous season with the initiative. You have Riley now, who's trying to figure out what he's going to do now. He's no longer that super soldier.
No longer getting the drugs. He's coming down. He's having withdrawals, and he don't know it yet.
Right. The addiction really takes a hold on him in this season. So then that starts to drive a rift between him and Buffy.
Yep. And him finding out that she has power at all, and that she one time loved the vampire, makes him feel so inadequate.
Yes.
You know, it was G one time that said, I mean, he reminds me of Captain America. I was like, man, this dude is way too weak to be Captain America.
No.
Are you kidding me?
No, we can't.
I was like, please don't ever say that again. Please.
Please don't. No. So you got that going on also. I mean, and this was.
You get to learn about Dawn.
You get more,
more. She's got all the memory. Everybody that knows Dawn has all the memories of Dawn in their life since Dawn was born.
Right.
So they put memories in her. Buffy finds this all out more than about a quarter of the way through the season.
Right.
She also finds out that Dawn comes literally from her blood, and that's how they made her human. There was these monks that cast a spell to hide the key from Glory, who was killing her way through the church system, because they are the ones that keep all the secrets.
Mm-hmm.
And she was on Dawn's trail, and that's how. And when the monks found Buffy, they used Buffy's blood, created Dawn, and knowing that Buffy would protect her sister.
Right.
When they saw Buffy, they said Buffy's a good person. She protects the one she loves.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And she's a slayer. Psh, boom. We'll make it. And they cast a spell on the key, making Dawn a being. Now, we're not sure if she's human at this for a while, but I believe that they clarify it far before the end. You know, before that first season ends, she is a human. It's not her fault. She was born, 13, 14, 15, whatever she's supposed to be. I don't know how old she's supposed to be. Even Buffy's age is questionable. When people say, I know her age. Well, the computer says this. It says two different ages in the first season.
Yeah.
Then later, neither of those ages are right. And now, just like all superheroes, she has to re-age. She has to become that teenage character to retell the story.
Right.
In the comic book, she's not some. They're rebooted parts of it. They have to.
Yeah,
comic books always reboot every 15, 20 years.
Yeah, like you said,
and it's all worlds should to keep up with time.
Right. New generation comes in.
It's still Buffy. It's still Spider-Man. It's not, if not, Superman would be like, what?
I'm all for it as long as you keep the core character.
Yes.
Same,
make your own thing in the Buffyverse. If you want to make some other character and try to sell a show, that's fine, but don't redo Buffy.
No.
I'm not a fan of prequels. I'm getting sick of the redos, everything.
I'm tired.
Buffy doesn't need redone. It's like the Warriors. It's going to stand the test of time.
I don't like prequels either. I just think with a prequel, it's you've already put a restriction on you, and it's hard to go back and not keep it updated. Like with Star Wars,
right.
When they went to the first
4, 5, and 6 are worthless now. You messed them up.
Yeah, because now
1, 2, 3,
1, 2, 3
7, 8, and 9 are all good.
got
But
better
now you messed up.
technology and stuff.
Right.
So yeah,
Look what Underworld. Underworld was awesome series, and then they did that prequel, and it made it. You can't put it in the series.
No,
it's not the same. As,
I don't
it
watch.
doesn't fit in.
I don't watch that Underworld.
Yeah,
I just do the main ones.
Yeah, the reboots.
The prequel they did, I can't watch because it ruins it.
Some of the music in like the Disney movies and the reboots is fine, but some of it, why'd you do that? Why'd you even redo it?
Right.
Lion King ain't classic enough that you gotta try to redo it.
Right.
Just leave it alone, man.
Right.
I mean, I'm not mad at Star Wars 7, 8, 9 like everybody else is. I liked them. I enjoyed those movies.
I prefer those over the original. I know
they're the best.
People don't.
I don't care what anybody says. Let's sit down. Let's watch them. Take your ego out of it. Han Solo ain't in here.
Well, also,
you know what I'm saying? He is, but it's time to die, people. Y'all old.
Also, take your nostalgia out of it.
Take it away. Watch it for what it is. That's why I always do it. I always watch a movie for what it is. Like if you're gonna read, like the Airbender, the new that's on Netflix. I thought it was fabulous, but you got to take your ego out of this stuff, people.
Right. So, but the season 5
can't redo Buffy. I'm just saying.
Season 5 has one of the saddest moments in it, I think.
Oh yeah, that's just awful. The death of Joyce, and it almost always catches me off guard, man.
Yes, because it was actually sudden, kind of.
Right. We knew she was sick. She was having problems. Right. She had recovered something in the brain, tumor.
It looked like she was on the right path going back.
She was on a firm recovery.
But yeah, and then the death of Buffy's mom, Joyce.
At the end of the robot episode, it always catches me off guard, man. The love bot that Warren makes a future villain.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He's introduced in that season. But when Joyce dies, man, I swear, 8 out of the 10 times I've watched it catch me off guard, I swear.
And then
that following episode is sad. You get to, if you don't think Dawn's human at this point, you can't doubt it.
Right. Exactly. But this,
like how a teenager, she catches an attitude.
Yeah.
They put grades K through 9 in me. Like, why can't they just put this in me? I don't have to learn nothing. Fuck this stuff. I'm a key, remember?
Right.
So like a teenager we all as teenagers, we always felt out, left out, misfits, the black sheep. Every teenager has that dark, we all are special in our brooding.
Right.
What has happened to us.
Yeah.
And she's even got it more so because she's a key. And she knows that she was made. She didn't live this life. These are all fake fucking memories.
Right.
Even though it's hard, how can you, they're still memories.
Right. But
how do you separate?
Psychologically, that's got to be crazy to think. Wait, I have these memories, but I never existed until.
Right.
Just
until I appeared in Buffy's house, and that's the first memories that are real.
Right.
On. Everything else is bullshit.
And then.
And because you think of it that way, that sucks. But yeah, it's a good season too. Even though we got the death of Joyce, which I mean, I think she had fulfilled her role. It was their step to growing up.
Well, yeah, that's what
it sucks they did it that way.
That's what this purpose was, to say, okay, now Buffy's going to be the adult in the show.
Right. She's the runner of Sunnydale now.
Right.
The parents are passed on the torch to the children.
Exactly.
Go watch it.
And really, this was going to be the finale of the whole series originally.
Yep.
So the ending was surprised. I don't think anyone was expecting the way it ended.
I'm going to disagree because I called it in episode 2 episodes after Joyce died. I called it. I said exactly what was going to happen.
I'm talking about regular viewers. Not
They're killing Buffy. Yeah. I knew they were going to kill her.
I knew that too, but I'm just saying.
And then the rumor mill was out that this was the final season. And then we knew it was the final season. They were done.
Right.
It was said, this is the final season. Enjoy. And then CW came along with a sweet deal for all of us Buffy fans and purchased it gave all the actors and the writers and stuff the deal they couldn't refuse. Right. CW was trying to become something. And they said, Buffy, we can use Buffy as platform to launch our channel, and it worked. The 2 seasons of Buffy launched them into the stratosphere. They became competitive with ABC sometimes. which is the lower of CBS, NBC, ABC.
Right.
Usually ABC is the lower of the ratings. And Buffy on CW, those 2 seasons, I know it's because everybody thought she was done. Real happy she made it. Somebody bought Buffy and she's back, So every fan of every season, that even people who may have been walking away from Buffy at the time, turned around and rushed back, told their friends, "Oh, I'm about to watch the show. I can't do nothing. I'm not missing an episode." Because it wasn't like back then. You couldn't just watch whatever you wanted. You had to go out and buy a disc or something.
Yeah.
There wasn't these streaming services
there was no
and all
streaming
that. That
service.
shit didn't exist.
Yeah. And then also during this season, Spike's.
Spike's right. He's been captured by the initiative. He's got the chip. He's fighting with this demon in humanity, even though he doesn't have a soul.
Right. And now the demons and the vampires.
And this is the season
he's not.
He falls in love with Buffy, isn't it?
Yes, this is when he starts.
I remember he wakes up.
Yeah.
Please no.
Right. He doesn't like that he's falling in love.
Right. The vampire is like, oh hell no. Please no.
But this is also the season where vampires and demons are hating him because he's starting to hunt them. It's what he can do. So.
Right. He's no longer allowed at the supernatural
right.
bars and stuff because
right.
you're hunting our kind with the Slayer, you son of a bitch. Right.
Right. So, and that kind of gets him bored.
He gets his ass whipped a couple times, thrown out of a bar. Well, once we know it for sure, but I'm sure it happened multiple times.
But that's what's causing him to lead towards Buffy and the Scooby Gang and be more part of the group.
Yeah.
And so, at the end of
even without a soul, his love for Buffy after she sacrificed herself for the world.
Yep.
She's dead. She's gone.
She's dead.
That's how it ends. Buffy sacrifices herself for everybody. She tells Dawn some good life advice and then takes the hit,
Yep.
Because only Summer's blood will stop the rift.
Yep.
And dragons already have flown. A couple of dragons flew through and shit already or something. She already killed Glory. They had defeated Glory, but Glory had already started the ritual.
Right. Yeah, but again, you got to close.
Now, once again, only your blood will stop it. This time it's Buffy.
Right.
I think that part of her, I'm not saying she wanted to commit suicide. That's not what I'm saying. But there was a part of her that knew there'd be relief when she was done.
Yes.
She's been through the ringer.
And
all, the superhero has, I want to take that moment and talk about who is there a superhero she reminds you of?
Buffy?
Yeah.
For me, I think Supergirl comes to mind for me.
Supergirl. That's a good one. But for me, it's Spider-Man. She reminds me of, she has I think that's what I really like about her.
I think that's a better analogy, Spider-Man, because they both deal with tragedy on a lot in their lives.
Was this ringing the whole time? I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it.
Okay, me either. Sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah,
they're different class of character, male and female, but it's that character that's got the responsibility. The responsibility is a big thing for her. It starts in the first episode.
Yeah.
When she tells Giles, you're going to prepare me for losing all my friends, get kicked out of school. Go ahead, prepare me. Prepare me for living this dual life I have to live. Spider-Man as a teenager has to live that dual life. That's some big adult responsibilities at a young age.
Right.
That's why Supergirl does fit.
I like
any of the teen characters.
I like Supergirl because she, like Buffy, she's telling people there's another way to be a hero.
Yeah, I don't have to fit in your mold.
Right.
Right.
That's what Superman can find. But now that you mentioned Spider-Man, they're pretty.
There's a good combination of those too, though.
Yeah.
And then you also have to throw a little Wonder Woman in there. I know I mentioned both my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Because she knows sometimes why she has to kill.
Yes, I agree.
The episode
with that.
where she has to kill Ford, who's got the brain tumors, who wants to bring in vampires to Spike and Drusilla can win and kill her, and he's willing to sacrifice all these humans and the Slayer just so he can become a vampire.
Right.
It shows. She's got to deal with some really tough decisions. If you haven't already seen it, now you see it that season. She kills one of her lifelong friends. She kills the love of her life. I mean,
Yeah, like I.
She's been through the ringer.
Yeah.
So she reminds me of a lot of. There's an amalgam of characters, but for me, most is I attribute a lot of the stuff to Spider-Man when I'm watching.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I can see that being a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I agree that her sacrifice.
Yeah.
She feels she's done enough.
The way they patrol the city.
Right.
She's tired.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's trying to commit suicide.
No,
That's not what I'm saying at all.
No.
But
she wants to save.
This is the perfect way for me to go.
Yeah.
Do it all for the world.
Yep.
You know.
Then we come to find out it's not the end.
Right. Because CW picks them up.
So yeah,
we're off into season 6.
Yep.
Where we have the weirdest villains of all.
Yes.
That I think turn out to be
one
some of the best. This series has some of the best villains, man.
I agree completely.
The trio.
The trio's
you got
the main one.
Jonathan, who's been in it from the beginning.
Yep.
He's been a student that went to school with them.
Yeah.
You know, he's the magical guy. You got Warren, the guy that did the robot love. He's Andrew's the magical guy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both magic. They're just different forms of magic.
Yes.
Yeah. And so one seemed ritual, one seemed tribal. So we might have two different magics. Science guy all get together and want to beat the Slayer.
So
because they've all had run-ins with the Slayer one way or another.
Right.
Andrew, his brother got beaten by the Slayer, in trouble, sent off to jail.
Yep.
Defeated by the Slayer. So he hasn't had a direct run-in, but he wants some revenge too.
These three have beef with the Slayer.
Yeah, they're gonna do it. They're gonna beat the Slayer when no other vampire or demon could.
So basically, the Scooby Gang, they're trying to bring Buffy back because in their mind she's gone, and
they think she's in some, because Glory was trying to get back to a hell dimension. They think Buffy's in a hell dimension.
Yes,
but so they know they're going to go save their friend, and that's their job.
Right.
They're it's not selfish at all.
No.
But it is.
Yeah.
But they're using that selfish logic, that idea that, well, she's dead, but she's in a hell place, and we need our friend back.
Right.
We're going to get her back. We're going to save her from death.
Right.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
She's been dead all summer, but we got this.
Yep. So that's the beginning of it.
Willow. So the idea was to do it. It all, and the whole summer went by, and Willow the whole time was getting the spell together. It was a ritual that involved slaughtering a baby, a Bambi and shit. Well, actually, it was a female Bambi baby, but still, it was a baby. It was sick as fuck. We knew she was full off evil at this point. I was like, yo, she's going downhill. She's willing to do all this shit to, she was like Snow White, led the deer in with, happy magics, and then gutted the damn thing, or whatever she did was awful.
Yeah.
But they was bringing their friend back. Xander had doubts. He voiced them multiple times.
Yep.
But Willow was, I'm in charge. I'm the baddest bitch in the room. We swore, we doing it. Let's go. And then Tara had her back no matter what. So the numbers are stacked against Xander. Anya was in.
Yeah.
She knows there's a vengeance demon, and all stuff she knows. It's possible to bring your friends back.
Right.
They're getting the spell together. Could be dangerous. She was backing Xander, but in a weak way, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah.
So it ended up being Willow, leader,
right,
and her follower Tara, and saying, "Hey, we're bringing her back." That's what they did.
And they brought her back.
And it went perfectly how it was supposed to, right? Isn't that how the spell was supposed to go? You just don't think it is, because the next episode or two, whatever, that the demon starts attacking them that they brought with her, that was attached to Buffy.
Yeah.
Buffy's had to claw her way, like most vampires, had to claw her way out of her own grave. Yep. Because they brought her back, but they thought they failed. These biker demons came in, ran over the spell at the last second. Yep. And so Willow thought it failed. Yeah. Instead, it worked. And they didn't think it did.
Right.
Which is really weird that they didn't dig her up early. No, they left her in the ground. And what was it? You can't hear somebody yell under 6 feet of dirt. You can't hear somebody yell under 2 feet of dirt. There's no way.
No way.
So they wouldn't have known if they brought her back anyway.
No.
I mean, it just was a bad move by the Scooby Gang.
Well, yeah. I think
Giles, who he had left and gone to England. There it is. The mentor left, and they did something really fucking dumb. But it ended up being awesome because CW got to bring Buffy back, start her up, start her up in a new way.
Yeah.
She had to deal with darkness now.
Yeah. And
So the villains ended up being the trio, but really Life was the villain of that season. It really was the main villain.
It really was.
That was the main villain. The trio was the villain we made. But man, new Life, a whole new Life was the real villain of that season, man.
Right.
Everybody in the gang went through hell.
Yeah, pretty much this season it's Buffy's trying to get it back into, because I think it's later on you find out that she wasn't in hell. Uh, she describes it as heaven, I believe. So she wasn't like tortured or anything. She was, the best place that she could be for what she did.
Yeah, she made it to heaven. So, she was what she would describe as the perfect place. She knew everyone was safe. She knew everything was good. She was loved. Love was the thing. Happiness was the thing.
She was at peace.
And they pulled her back to this world, which she thought was hell.
Right.
And as somebody who's been through that kind of stuff, I'm telling you, man, twice I've come back from some stuff, and I swear, when you last time was for like an hour and a half, I swore I was in hell. It wasn't. It's Earth. I get it. I understand. But man, it felt like I was in hell. I felt like that Constantine stuff, like it wasn't exactly like, it was very similar to that idea of hell's right here. We're in it. We're in it, and we're just living through it.
Right.
And when you leave this world, for a little bit, full, when you come back, you realize, holy shit, and that's what she went through. And she had to claw her way out of a grave.
And this season,
she went from heaven to hell, right?
Right. And this season, there is multiple rifts between each Scooby Gang member. So this season, they kind of used to kind of get them back together almost.
Yeah, they're gonna redo the Scooby Gang. The Scooby Gang's gonna. I hate to say they're Scooby Gang characters are redoing it. They're reforming after all the shit that's gone down.
Right.
Each time, like I said, every time there's an event, it reshapes these characters.
It does.
Sometimes in a negative way, sometimes in a positive way.
And
Buffy is, she's in a hell. She's in hell. She describes it, and it's in the before she can only talk to Spike. That's why.
Right. Spike's the only one that could understand what she's going through.
And the only time she feels anything is when she's having sex with Spike. That's where she gets her first feeling. So that starts
their
relationship. And then Spike hasn't even, he's still dealing with the chip, but he finds out it doesn't work on Buffy. He can't hurt humans, but he can hurt her.
Right.
And then that's how they fall for each other in a violent attack, sexual,
right.
Very aggressive sex scenes, but not,
but
TV sex scenes.
Right.
Unlike Spartacus, which I say sex scenes, this is real sex scenes. I mean, not real, but you see butt cheeks and titty.
So this is almost like a redo, like they're
revamping the characters, aging them into their new world.
Right. That's what this season was for.
That's why I say Life is the villain.
Yeah.
They go through hell to get it right.
Right. I mean, like each Scooby Game wasn't as close as they were.
Yeah, they never will be as close as they were again.
Right.
They are in a way separating.
Right.
Buffy's come home. She doesn't even have her room.
Right.
Willow has her mom's room. To Buffy, this just happened. I died. I have been here all summer.
Right.
It's an instant. You're in heaven, and then boom, you're pulled back to this place.
Yeah, that's rough.
Jonathan and they test Buffy. They try to learn the trio. They try to learn all of Buffy's weaknesses and strengths, and they strategize, plot, and fail and fail and fail again. They do get some info, but they never,
Yeah.
And then they kill Tara. They fail. They get beat. Warren kills Tara.
Warren's just had enough. And I think he was trying to kill Buffy.
Yes, he went after Buffy. He shot Buffy and then ran. And as he was running, he was shooting, and he shot Tara. And Tara and Willow were at that moment, like they love to do in the Buffyverse. They was just getting back together after the big old fight.
Like, yep, big.
They, finally got back together the morning after, getting up, going, getting started, and Tara's dead.
And then this leads
But
to.
I want to just back up a little bit,
Okay.
because when I heard they were doing a musical this season, the moment I heard about it, I was like, what the hell? CW is ruining Buffy. What the fuck are they doing? And then the musical came out. And I think it's one of the best episodes ever.
It is.
It is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So much you learn so much about every character's feelings that we're talking about right now.
Yes.
If you want to learn what the hell is going on in season 6, watch the musical.
Because season 6, no one was
can describe it better than I ever could.
In season 6, no one was telling each other what they were.
Everybody was lying. And
everybody was
holding worked on.
Yeah.
He operated that everybody lies to everybody's face.
Once Time with Feeling, I believe, was the title episode.
Yep. One More Time with Feeling. Is that it?
I think so. Yep.
I love that episode.
A previous episode, a good one, was Hush.
Hush, yeah. Every one of these seasons has like this dynamic.
Yeah.
At least half a dozen or more, just really special episodes. We're talking about Hush. Hush was a really special,
tons of unique episodes that
the musical CW really upped the game, in my opinion. Josh and the writers got to run free, and I remember I don't like to do this, but I've seen stuff where the cast said they really got to sit in and say the lines their characters would say.
Right.
They would try out lines until that felt like Buffy. That feels like
right.
That feels like, well, that's what we're writing about.
Yeah, so, I think especially, the more the actors play these characters, the more
they're deep into them. Who knows Willow more than I don't know all their names.
Right. But Allison something.
Hannigan. There we go. Between us, we got.
I know the first one.
All right. We're like the Tom Cruise guy in War of the World. Between me and my cousin, we know everything.
Right. Yeah. They put out so many unique episodes that even nowadays I'm seeing those unique episodes in different shows where they take that concept with them.
Right. I've seen whole shows based on one of their episodes, whole seasons.
Yeah.
Where they got this. That's a good idea. They took it from Buffy and extended the idea.
And that's what shows should do.
Yeah, that's what art should do. And that's why I don't think I'm still personally against trademarks.
I still mind. That to me, that's just
it's art.
Someone wanting to make money. That's it.
Somebody censoring art, and that's unfair. You should know. If I see something, I can draw it. I can sing how I want to sing.
So the trio ends up breaking up or getting captured. I forget which one.
They get their asses handed to them in the end by Buffy. It doesn't go well.
And then
they're going to screw Jonathan over, Andrew and Warren.
Right.
They leave him to get captured by Buffy. They go off and individually get their asses kicked.
Right.
Warren escapes with his jetpack. Andrew hits his head. He gets busted. Him and Jonathan go to jail together. Andrew's still sure Warren's going to come save him. Little do they know that Warren goes and gets him a gun, and that's when it kills Tara, shoots Buffy, and she's going to die too. Don't forget, Buffy's going to die too.
Right.
The surgeons are saying she's not going to make it. And then that's when Dark Willow is born. Willow heads to the magic shop. I mean, the way that series ends, it's the demons, like she calls upon the demon to save, it's a demon.
Right.
There's a demon entity to bring Tara back to life like she did Buffy. Now, instead of going through a big ritual, Willow's become so powerful this season that she can just call upon the spell at will in a moment and summon the demon to bring somebody back to life. So if Tara had been killed by supernatural means, she could have done it right then and there on the spot. But because she was killed by another human, the demon can't bring her back.
Right.
And so Willow screams, sends the demon away in agony, and the episode ends. That's the Dark Willow era. That's pretty important stuff.
Yeah. And that in turns. I mean, you see Giles comes back to try to help with Willow.
Well, let's back up just a little bit, because Willow is about to kill everybody. She catches Warren.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she
catches Warren and crucifies him, not crucifies him, but hems him up, arms and legs, stretches him out, and then skins him alive.
Yeah.
And then she says, one down, and then takes off.
Right.
And then the next episode's 2 to go or whatnot. She goes after Jonathan and Andrew because they were a part of the villain team that was fucking with, trying to kill Buffy and fucking with their friends.
Right.
And that's one of the Warrens' pleas. He's like, I wasn't trying to kill. And she's like, what? You weren't trying to kill my girlfriend? You were trying to kill my best friend? Right. I was like, damn. Right. You stuck, bro.
Right. No matter what you're doing, you're
fucked,
screwed.
Man.
You're screwed.
Yeah. You double screwed now. You brought up my best friend. Don't forget that.
Right. So yeah. So then doesn't one of them survive?
Who?
The trio?
Yeah, they survived.
Okay. I was gonna say I believe
they all survived that season. Okay. Oh, no, not Warren, but Andrew and Jonathan. Buffy manages to protect them. Obviously, now we're back to and Willow's been chasing them down. She's killed Warren. Now she's going after the duo. That's all that's left. They're not really a duo anymore. They're fighting in jail over, they're nerds. They're super nerds,
Right.
They're in trouble. But because Dark Willow's after them, Buffy is not going to let Willow cross the line of killing two people that had nothing to do with what happened.
Right.
And that's the line that she thinks, is going to turn Willow.
Right.
Willow's already turned. She doesn't get it.
Yeah.
She went into the magic shop and she sucked up all the dark books.
All of them.
And I mean, that's going to take a toll on a lifelong nerd with virtual ultimate power.
Yes.
At least on an earthly scale.
Right.
So she's now able to decimate the earth with what she's absorbed. And then she goes around for the next couple episodes, sucking up all the magic in the town. Anybody who's got magic gets eaten.
Yep.
Magically,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some wicked stuff. It's a pretty dark season for the Scooby Gang.
Right. Right. And then
that's when Giles returns at the last. Willow wants to have. We got to have the Willow Buffy throwdown. I mean, we skipped the Faith Buffy throwdown, which I thought was one of the most fantastic martial arts scene in the history of television.
Right.
And I still watch some modern television, so it's not like I'm blind to what's going on and I've missed something. Buffy has some of the best fight scenes, and that Willow magic, the magic versus the Buffy was awesome, man. They had a badass fight scene. Willow started with magic, then she gave herself strength, and she was trying to cast spells on Buffy, but for some reason they weren't working. She was under some protection. Willow couldn't figure it out. So he's like, why? So I can't cast magic on you. I'll cast magic on myself. She gave herself super strength and durability and stuff. And Buffy was still whooping her ass. Then I forget how she gets the advantage or whatnot, but Giles swoops in at the last second. Boom, Giles is back, saving the day. Got Willow in a capture bubble, a magic trap,
Right.
I think that's how that episode kind of ends. And then Buffy's come in and Buffy's, I don't know how episode to episode. Like I said, it's just a universe to me. I've seen them so many times. They blend. And now when I watch them, I don't watch them on discs. So that just goes one after another.
Right.
I don't know if it's episode 3, 5.
No. So, yeah.
But yeah, he comes back. Buffy tells him everything that's going on. They have a laugh. This is life.
Yeah. When
shit happens, we all fuck up.
Yeah. She's even telling him about Spike.
Yep.
They're really.
I love Giles' reaction. I mean, that's like a real reaction. You can either be pissed for no reason. Shit already happened. You can just roll down the situation. Right. That's what they did. They rolled down the situation.
Right. Yeah, this is the two that have been through a lot. Knows they both lost. They both have suffered. We
didn't cover the fact that Buffy has Giles replaced as a father figure because her father sucked, man.
Yeah,
he was there a few times, once in a great while. Lived in another town. I get it, but man, you got to make an effort to see your kid, bro.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Nope.
And that's he broke her heart. He left her hanging. I mean,
and that's
the last time you see him is the episode, I believe, that she fears he doesn't like her.
Yeah.
And then that nightmare, even though it's over and it was fake and it was induced, actually comes true. The dude never comes back. Never seen him again. He's not dead. They try to get hold of him after Joyce dies.
Yeah.
Nothing. He won't respond.
No,
on the beach with this new lady or something.
and that's where Giles comes in and becomes that father figure that she's always wanted. And always has her back. So that's always
Up to this point, season 6, he's that father figure from season 1 all the way up to 6. He's definitely the mentor. Sometimes you find out stuff about your mentors. They're human, they're regular. She had already found that out about him. They had been through in a way that's why he got fired originally as a watcher, because he was too close to Buffy.
Yeah.
He looks at her more like a daughter than a Slayer.
Yeah.
So that dynamic was all the friendship dynamics were put to the test that season.
Yeah. Yeah, where they like we said, they kind of revamped the Scooby games.
Yeah, before all that, we got an episode where Willow wipes everybody's mind accidentally.
Yep.
Nobody remembers who they are.
Yeah.
They wake up in the magic shop, meet Spike. Spike thinks Giles is his kid.
Yeah.
I think they want spikes.
And that's the show, and most shows we're talking about, they have that perfect mixture of comedy, action,
right, drama. Yeah, it is. It's a full show. It's the full.
Yeah.
I think comedy's best in those like action dramas.
Yes.
Because I mean, some of the funniest things ever are in like a Captain America movie or Avengers movie. When they hit that spot perfectly, perfect time to get a laugh in.
One of the funniest things, this was Star Wars, that Force Awakens, is the two stormtroopers are walking down the hall, and then they see Kylo Ren is destroying everything.
Right. Right.
Most of the time, the stormtroopers would have ran in and be like,
said, "Sir, something,"
and then got killed.
Right.
But these stormtroopers saw that and turned right around.
Yeah. Let's get the fuck out of here, bro.
That made me laugh so hard.
Oh, I forgot my face. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a tense moment. He's blowing up, man. And salty as salty can be. Now she could escape. The Star Wars stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I better get out of here. And that's what made it so funny. It was funnier because it was such a tense moment.
And then, the end of this season,
to me, that's how I like my comedy. I don't like, me. I don't like a lot of straight comedy.
And end of the season, to bring Willow back.
Willow's out to destroy the Earth. Giles saves the day. She breaks free. We already talked about the fight.
Yeah.
As short as I could make it is, the spell that the Master was going to cast to destroy the world, she amped up. It started doing.
Mm-hmm.
And Buffy and Dawn had failed at their task to find something to defeat her, and they were trapped in a cemetery with, earthly demon creatures attacking them. So they couldn't stop Willow. They were miles away. Giles was down and out dying.
Yep.
Anya had no power. It was over. Willow was about to destroy the world.
It was over.
And then Xander showed up.
The guy with no
powers, no magic, no nothing.
Nope.
He stepped up. He's like, "Look, if you're going to destroy the world, start with me."
Yeah.
Start with me.
That was one of the best Xander moments.
Yeah, that was Xander's moment. I mean, that proved that he was a hero like I always thought he was. Don't get me wrong. Early on, I thought when he said, part of me that would have told me to do all that stuff was telling me not to come here at all. When he said, she's like, "You bring a flashlight, you bring a cross, you bring anything." And I was like, that's a hero. He doesn't know it, but that's a hero quality. I just wanted to come and try to save my friend Jesse. Me and Jesse, I got to rescue my buddy.
Right.
That's a hero. I might die here. I'm scared for my life, but here I come.
The Dark Willow kept hurting him.
Hurt him, scratched him up, blasted him.
Kept going.
He kept standing up and saying, telling stories, getting to their first meeting.
Yeah.
And he defeated her.
Yep.
Turned her back into Willow. The darkness left. She collapsed.
Wasn't a big fight scene or anything like that. It was a character.
It was character. It's a character victory. A hero, just the hero, not the powers, not the action. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
it was their love, their friendship, their,
Yes,
it was that kind of win.
for sure.
I'm bringing your humanity back. Here, I'm gonna hand you your humanity.
Yeah, I, I like the ending. That was definitely
it was a good ending season.
That was definitely
it was a really good season. Like we just talked about it as almost as much as we did all the other seasons because it was packed full of a lot.
Yeah,
Because
because they were trying to revamp their world. I mean, like re-up it, upgrade it, and give it more character. I thought.
Yeah,
it was more characters.
Yeah, they really let the characters go.
Yeah,
it's all about the arc, not the individual show.
Right.
It was the arc.
Right. And then we got the final season.
7.
It's
a killer.
That was
I don't know why, but man, this episode devastates me. I'm a grown ass man, be crying and shit. Like, damn. I don't know about you, but it's tough, man. And then it's not like
this was.
I'm gonna spoil it in this way. Not everybody dies. Very few of them do, but damn.
Yeah. In this one, in the beginning, I know
they introduced a bunch of characters this year.
Yeah, they do. And Willow comes back with
cleaned up,
basically rehab, magic rehab.
Magic rehab is what she's going through.
So she's battling with that. Like she can't do as much magic because she's
right. She's trying to stay away from magic. Period.
Yeah. But I mean,
well, no, she's being not that bad, but yeah, she's in a rehab facility, then she comes home a little early.
But everyone's keeping an eye on her. Like every time she does, if she does a spell, they're gonna look at her
like what's this dark magic going on? Yeah, what's happening here?
But
everybody's going through something. Yeah.
So
we forgot to mention in 6, Xander walking away from the altar. That was a powerful episode.
Oh yeah.
But we were leaving stuff out. Like I said, we can't cover it all. So that is a powerful episode. But go ahead.
The first evil is
that's the villain of the season. The Uber vamps are his vessel in most cases, and the monks. He's got Caleb.
So
the first pours their energies into Caleb with power in a human with a little bit of the first power.
Right.
And he's an evil priest.
Yeah. This was another eerie character for me.
Yeah, he was scary.
Just because they added that priest element where it's really unholy.
Yeah, that righteous evil. The worst kind, the righteous evil.
Right. This one also, Faith comes back in this
Faith
season.
has returned. She had turned herself into prison and was doing time, and then she decided the first comes after her, and so.
Right. This is a continuation.
Wesley goes and breaks her out of prison.
She's
an angel, and then she heads over to Buffy for
because something's going on down there.
Yeah. And she sticks into the Buffy episode for the rest of the season once she appears.
This is in this season, Buffy and the Scooby Gang had the biggest loss they've ever had, like battle wise.
Oh yeah, they get their asses handed to
like
them on multiple occasions. Yeah,
like hard.
Yeah, Xander loses an eye.
Yeah,
I mean it's serious. It's serious.
Broken bones.
Yeah. And people busted up,
and it looked like the morale is at zero.
Spike has sought out his soul.
Yeah, that's what we.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing. A vampire possessed by the human side to go get a soul you're doing wrong.
Right.
And then he went and did it.
Right. He went to do some trials
to get his soul
back. That's a huge.
Yeah. They had implied that he had gone to get the chip removed magically or something so he could be free. That's what we thought. That's what they had implied.
Right. Yeah.
But it ended up he had done all those trials to get his soul back. So we would never try to rape or harm anyone again.
But I remember one episode.
That was the covering, the hotline, the rape hotline stuff.
So
he tried to rape Buffy.
Right after the gang got defeated and morale was.
Oh yeah, they were devastated, man.
Pretty much zero.
It took full decimation, full fall apart for them to pull out victory. They had to fall apart and come back together type idea.
Right.
classic.
I remember Buffy had a speech.
Yeah, she had to deal with all the Slayer wannabes.
Yes, because the first people was hunting them down,
yeah, the
right?
Uber vampire kicked her ass.
And so she gives a speech that, like, I've only had like Captain America speech give me
Yeah,
goosebumps like
yeah,
that. But
yeah.
she gave like a Captain America
Yeah, after
speech.
she got handed to her, she stood up and gave a badass speech. That
Yeah,
we're walking through fire, but
right.
we're gonna win.
And
Victory is
then
ours.
all of a sudden morale's back up.
Yep, it's a positive. We got this.
Yep.
And I hated when the house turned on her, the gang turned on her
Yes.
after, one mistake
Yep.
because they lost to Caleb. Xander lost an eye. They got their asses handed to them. They, that speech Dawn gives, it's my house too. Get out, and Buffy leaves. If I had Buffy's powers, they'd have all left my fucking house. Get the fuck to stepping. But she left.
Yeah.
Faith finally got what she wanted. She was in charge. You can't tell me she didn't enjoy the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that season's filled with a lot too. I mean,
yeah, like this is probably the
everybody comes into finally who they're gonna be. There's that point. The only person I like is Spike and Buffy for a while.
Yeah.
Everybody, there's just like when she tells Josh you don't need him no more because that was dirty when they tried to kill Spike.
Yeah.
Him and that principal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good season, but man, it's tough to watch the way it ends. It ends in a more positive way. I don't want to say who they kill, but there's very little loss. But it's still it's over. It's like, damn, even though I know I can watch it again for some reason, it's over.
But yeah,
I'll never see something new with Buffy again.
No,
that kind of idea. Yeah. Sometimes most of the time I get through it, but there's a couple parts that are pretty tough.
Yeah,
I love how it ends exactly how it began.
For
Their
me,
banter.
For me, this was the most emotional draining season.
Yeah, it was.
Because each episode was, especially like each episode was closer to the end. You're like, I'm not ready for this.
Right.
I'm not ready yet.
Right.
But we won't ruin.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with 7 too much because it's we covered pretty good. It's the first evil, evil that's older than time itself.
Yeah. So
they try to, it can possess. It can look like anybody who's died, whoever's ever died.
Yeah.
You can take on their image. So they bring all the old villains back for at least some scenes.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool to see all our villains. But yeah, 7 is a big season because they know they're ending and they want to do it right.
Right.
Unlike 5 that was semi-rushed because they found out that they knew that they only were doing 2 seasons on CW.
Right.
So that was it. They knew for 2 years it was over. So they had that whole year to come up with how they want to end it.
Right. There's a lot of good episodes.
Yeah.
A lot of, each season they raise the stakes.
It's a fabulous show. If you haven't seen it, you should really check it out.
And if you have, I just watch it again.
Yeah. If you've seen it, you watch it now.
Watch it again.
I know a lot of people that use it, just have it on. They love it. It's their comfort.
Yeah. Like I said, it was the first character-based TV show I ever watched.
Yeah, it's the first one I ever watched too.
Where it's like, okay, and then each character was unique. It wasn't any cookie cutter characters.
Yeah. And they put a lot of effort into making them beings that seemed real.
Right. Where their actions, there was consequences.
Right. Good and bad.
Good or bad, yeah. All the characters felt real to me.
Yeah.
So that was the big thing. And each season they seem to get better and better. And
they could have continued, but they knew that was it. So, nothing lasts forever, and especially in these worlds, you might get lucky to just see one season, like Firefly.
Yeah,
get cut early. It happens in the comic book world. They think it's doing so bad, they cut it, and they realize, damn, everybody loved it. And it's over.
It's usually until they.
Because once you fire somebody, and they're on to another job.
Yeah,
they're not sticking around waiting. Hey, maybe next year you'll hire me.
They're not going to wait. Like, oh, I'll wait a year and see if it comes back. No,
right.
They're going on to their next project.
Right.
So this was the Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
All series. 7 seasons. Damn.
7 seasons. So
not every moment, but a lot.
No,
we
but-
just got to cover our bases.
right. I mean, we'll get into detail,
Little bits of what they happened here.
Right, but-
you should check it out.
but yeah, definitely check out. If you haven't, definitely check it out. It's a great show, great characters. It's very entertaining. You're gonna find someone for in that.
Absolutely.
So, or multiple. You might.
Yeah, you might love every character, right?
So-
Hate a few.
So this is our Buffy the Vampire Slayer review of the series. Hit like and subscribe if you liked it. If not, do it anyways, please. You can also check out Lord Drew on Twitch. You can find him at Lord_Drew_72 at Twitch.
I stream all day and night, multiple types of games, but I'm into Fallout 76.
So yeah, if you're into watching video games or watching people play video games, he may even give you some great advice. Check him out. So thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.